was dragged into the courtroom in chains, his thin frame stumbling under the harsh grip of two officers. Their hands clamped on his frail arms like iron, shoving him forward with unnecessary force. Hunger had hollowed out his cheeks, and the cold cuffs bit into his wrists. His worn-out army jacket, patched and stained, hung loosely on his shoulders, but across his chest. A row of medals still gleamed, silent witnesses of battles long past. The officers scoffed at them. To them, he was just another homeless black man, a nuisance to the city. One sneered, whispering, "Probably stole those too. No way he earned them." The old man straightened his back, his sunken eyes carrying both pain and pride. In a cracked voice he said, "These weren't bought. They were paid for in blood." His crime? Stealing food. A loaf of bread. A carton of milk. The kind of things others picked off store shelves without thought. For him, they meant survival. Hunger had crushed his pride, forcing him to take what his empty pockets couldn't buy. He still remembered the clerk's suspicious glare at the small shop near the bus station. He had tried to leave quickly, but the alarm was raised. By the time police arrived, they didn't see a starving veteran. They saw only a black man with stolen food in his hands. Down the courthouse hall he was marched, faces staring, some snickering, others whispering. A spectator muttered, "Those medals look fake, pawnshop junk." Each word cut deep. Every medal carried not just metal but memories. Nights spent lying in mud while bullets sliced the air. Friends who never came home. And now those same medals were mocked as worthless trinkets. The courtroom doors opened. Silence filled the room as the judge took his seat high above, his expression calm but stern. "Bring the defendant forward," the bailiff called. Chains rattled, medals clinked, an uneasy symphony of honor and disgrace. The judge asked, "State your name." The old man swallowed hard, then spoke, "Sergeant Carter." A hush fell. Whispers rippled through the room. The judge's eyes narrowed. "Say it again." With weary dignity, the old man raised his chin. "Sergeant Carter, United States Army, Gulf, Bosnia, Afghanistan. 20 years in uniform. These medals aren't fake, they're for courage, for lives I carried out of hell." Gasps spread across the courtroom. The officers loosened their grip. The judge leaned forward. "Then why are you here in chains?" The veteran replied quietly, "Because I stole bread and milk. I was starving, and when they arrested me, they said I was trash. Said my medals meant nothing." The room grew heavy with silence. The judge's breath caught. His mind drifted back years. He was a boy again, pinned down in the chaos of war. Bullets shrieked around him, blood soaking his side. Death was near, and then strong arms had lifted him, a steady voice whispering, "Stay with me, son. I won't let you die." The judge's eyes widened. It was him. Time had aged his rescuer, but the face was unmistakable. "You," the judge whispered. "You saved me." Tears welled in the old man's eyes. "You were that boy. I carried you on my back, and you lived." The judge rose slowly from his seat, his black robe swaying as silence swept across the courtroom. His voice thundered, yet trembled with emotion. "This man is no thief. He is a hero. Without him, I would not be standing here today." For a long moment, the room seemed frozen, every pair of eyes fixed on the frail soldier in chains. Then the gavel struck, sharp and final. Case dismissed. The sound of the verdict echoed like freedom itself. The bailiff hurried forward, fumbling with the keys. The cuffs clicked open, falling heavily to the wooden floor. The chains clattered and rolled. No longer shackles of shame, but broken reminders of injustice. The old soldier lifted his trembling hands, red and bruised from the cold metal. He rubbed his wrists as if trying to wake them from years of silence. The ghost of pain still lingering. Around him the atmosphere shifted. The same spectators who had ridiculed him minutes before now lowered their eyes. Unable to meet his shame flushed their faces. The whispers turned into uneasy silence. Even the officers who had mocked his medals now stood stiff and awkward. One of them muttered barely above a whisper, "We were wrong, sir. Forgive us." Their voices held no authority now, only guilt. The old man's eyes welled with tears, though his spine straightened with a dignity no courtroom could strip away. For a brief moment, the medals on his chest didn't look tarnished anymore. They gleamed like fire, alive with memory. glowing under the courtroom lights as if history itself had come to bear witness. The judge stepped down from the bench, his polished shoes clicking softly against the marble floor. No longer distant, no longer a figure of power, he was just a man approaching another man. The boy he once had been meeting, the soldier who had saved him. He stopped before the veteran, placed a firm but gentle hand on his shoulder, and his voice dropped, carrying the weight of gratitude and grace. "You gave me life when I was only a boy. You carried me through fire and death. Now let me give you life in return. Come with me, let's go home." The words rang louder than the gavel, louder than the law itself. The courtroom fell utterly still. Every person there knew they had witnessed something greater than justice, something holy, something eternal. The old soldier blinked, his lips quivering. His shoulders, once bowed with hunger and humiliation, lifted with renewed strength. For the first time in years, he did not feel invisible. He was no longer just a starving beggar in rags. He was once again the protector, the rescuer, the hero he had always been. As the old soldier walked beside the judge toward the towering courtroom doors, the medals on his chest swayed with each hesitant step. Once mocked as worthless trinkets, they now shone like beacons of honor, catching the light with every movement. Each footfall echoed in the vast chamber, not as the shuffle of a broken beggar, but as the steady march of a hero, reclaiming his dignity. His back, once bent under the weight of chains and shame, now straightened with renewed strength. In his chest, the bitterness of years of hunger, rejection, and humiliation began to dissolve like snow beneath the sun. He could feel his sacrifices, long dismissed and forgotten by the world, suddenly recognized, honored, and alive again. When the heavy wooden doors finally swung open, a flood of golden light poured inside. To him, it was not just sunlight, it was freedom itself. And as he stepped through, it felt as though he was leaving behind not only the courtroom, but a prison of silence and pain, stepping once more into life.